disagree with me.
Thanks so much for coming to listen to Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy. I am Hawk.
And I'm Chrissy. Today we're brought to you by our buddies at WWSU Radio. Our producer Patrick the Triple P in the house.
Yes.
Yes. Spill the Tea is a really, really laid-back show. We kind of just talk about transgender issues, and we have technical difficulties.
We're getting used to the studio here. This is our first show, so you two need to get really close to the microphone in order for everybody to hear.
Dayton's right.
There you go. There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a real laid-back episode today. We're just going to try and talk, explain ourselves a little bit, explain what the show's about, play a couple cool songs that connect to things that are relevant to trans and queer life a little bit, and then we'll discuss identities and orientations and things like that after our break.
If you guys want to send us any messages and join in on our discussion for today, you could go to our website, wwsu1069.org, and there will be a chat box on that website. You could click the green play button, and there's a chat box under the media player. Leave us a message. Also, you could call us 937-775-5555. That's 937-775-5555. Or you can leave a message on the Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy Facebook live stream.
Here for it.
Yes.
So we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Kristen Ray Brewer. I go to Wright State University. I'm a sociology, women, gender, and sexuality studies double major. I also minor in English literature.
Nice.
A lot of what brought the show to life is my love for trans activism and the kind of things that I learn in school. I try to apply to the premise of the show a whole lot. So our original pitch was that we were going to sort of do a sociological-based show, have a lot of studies, a lot of facts. We will not try to drown people with educational stuff that might drag down the overall spirit of the show. So that would just sort of be like a basis for discussion every once in a while, and we won't try to kill that too much. We don't want to run off viewers.
We want you to learn, but we don't want you to be bored.
Yeah, it's not a college class, and we had to pay for it. You didn't. So.
Yeah.
True that. And it's expensive.
It's expensive.
Even though Wright State's one of the cheaper colleges in the area, it's still expensive for us.
It's still expensive for us to have to be here. We pumped all of our classes, and Spill the Tea was written on all of the boards today, so I hope that we have some classmates tuning in. We love you all if you're there and watching and listening. Thank you very much. Jen Prophet, Jessica Barnett, Lord Taylor, Ucker Lauderman, and Hope Jennings. Thank you very much for letting me write on your boards and interrupt your class today to discuss the show.
Mm-hmm.
And to continue on the introductory portion, I am Hawk. I do a lot of stuff throughout day-to-day life, but mostly I work for a call center. It's not always lovely, but, work is work. And I get to work with people literally every single day. So that helps me kind of keep a frame of mind of what we are all dealing with, the human condition, if you will. And
the human condition of the call center.
Home life is full of many, many animals. My housemates, Lex and Helena, I love them very much. I'm betting they're listening. We all gather up injured or disabled pets that need our help and that otherwise wouldn't get the help. And we get to take a lot of care of a lot of really cool animals in our time. And our household, I would personally say, kind of doubles as we love everyone here. You come in, it's like bringing in stray cats.
Nice.
You come in and you're ours now.
Whether you be a ferret or a human being.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Fuzzy,
or an
not
actual
fuzzy,
cat.
Whatever.
Could be an actual cat, but doesn't have to be. You're still our kitten.
Yes, you're still kitten to me.
I call everybody my trans.
Got a message from Beth. We love you, Hawk and Chrissy.
Oh, we love you too.
Mwah, we love you, Beth. Which Beth? I wonder which Beth. I'm going to have anxiety all night now.
So I'm willing to bet that is actually Lex.
Okay.
You're willing to Beth?
I'm willing to bet. Nice. So, yeah, we do lots of stuff together.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff separate, too. It's not always going to be about being together because we kind of have to spread ourselves sort of thin sometimes to capture all of the voices and all of the aspects of the community that we want to achieve. I would say, though, that we have really a ton of fun with it.
Yeah, I really think that mostly the show is our way of like building a little family of our own and a
Big
way
family.
for us to sort of scoop in as many people as we could into the cause of not just like transgender activism or whatever, but just fictive kin, family, the chosen family that queers make. So essentially, all of this is just our invitation to you. So if you see us on YouTube, you hear us on the radio, all that we're really saying, the subliminal message that we're sending is that we love you and we're here for you, okay? George W. says we're here for you.
I'm doing Twilight Zone in the microphone.
It's good. But yeah, Chrissy, you're absolutely right. The main point of Spill the Tea for me personally is that I get to use it as a method to love all of my people. Loving people is a big deal, you know? We're not going to get love from everyone, for sure. We know that.
Dun, dun, dun.
But, I mean, at least we can source it from some places. And if making our own family is the way to do it, then let's do it.
I think it's like you throw up the flag and you see who's gonna have, gonna have your back out there on the battlefront. So.
I have to interrupt you. We have a phone caller. Should we take it?
Yes,
Sure.
let's take
All
our
right,
first
let's
call.
do it. Hello, you're listening to Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy. What is your first name?
Tony.
Tony, how are you?
Hi, is this WWSU?
Yes, it is.
Dayton's right choice.
I was a student there beginning in fall of '88. I aced MPL 7 straight out of Beaver Creek High School, having only received intro calc.
Nice.
Wow. Welcome back.
Thank
What
you, sir.
brings you here? How are you tonight?
Pretty good. You guys taking requests?
We're doing a radio show right now, but I could throw in something at 10 o'clock for you.
That'd be beautiful, man. It's kind of retro.
Ooh.
Hey,
we like retro.
We like retro.
We dig it.
Okay. Are you familiar with Jeff Tate in the wheelchair from Queensryche?
Oh, I love Queens.
wow.
Are you
Wow.
familiar with Operation Mindcrime?
Ooh, Josh in the studio is familiar with them.
Okay, maybe you remember DJ from y'all, a little redheaded hot chick, Leslie K. Fee. She gave me that record, and I brought it back. It had a hole drilled in it from a peg on your wall. I was like, this is WWSU's record. I gave it back when I figured that out after she was gone.
Nice.
Okay, the track I want to hear, I'm not sure if it's 9 or 11 or what, but it's called The Mission. The beginning of it starts out with acoustic guitar. It sounds very solemn and slow.
Awesome, Tony. Yeah, well, I think we're going to get that queued up for you about 10 o'clock, right? As soon as we're done yapping about stuff. We have some music on the program if you want to keep listening. We're going to play at least 2 songs, but mostly
That
we just
sounds
kind of
great. Let me see if I can fire up my smartphone. You got to be smarter than your phone these days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see if I can figure out my smartphone and fire it up as smarter than me. So I'm the dummy around here, right? I'm the big dummy around here.
join the club
And
then, Tony.
can I just dial up wwsu.com or something?
Yeah, wwsu1069.org.
Beautiful, man. And I just hit listen.
Yeah, there's a green play button on the website. You click that, it'll open up the listener's corner, and then there's a media player there.
Just come and join the
Cool.
party.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. Who says dinosaurs can't be resurrected and do the what do you call that reincarnation thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I mean, if an IBM 8088 is a dinosaur, what is a Commodore 64 or a TRS-80 or a giant room full of vacuum tubes in 1939?
They're bricks,
Those are
according
bricks.
to Josh.
And it took that giant room full of vacuum tube, I believe, hours to do a simple algebraic calculation, or possibly days.
Yeah, we're
My
at Wright
uncle
State
was an
talking about
engineer on a
algebraic
nuclear
calculation.
submarine in Vietnam, and he told me that a 1 microfarad capacitor used to take up a whole room.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember seeing computers like that on YouTube, and they got IBM, I believe, has one of those computers still operational, actually, and they have a lot of videos about that.
That reminds me of
Does
the
it
first
have,
light bulb
like-
that still burns.
Yeah.
Does it have like Poltergeist TV purple ectoplasm rolling out of it?
It doesn't have that. It has a dot matrix printer, though.
an amber CRT monitor.
I don't know. I don't think it has any monitors. It's all switches and lights.
No, I mean like an old glass 1-inch thick glass face TV tube, 13-inch amber monochrome monitor.
We're talking
I don't-
technology.
Oh,
I
you
don't
mean
think
it's
so.
like a light bright full of pins, like a flat pinhead on Hellraiser?
I love light
He's like, we're going to tear your soul
I wanna have an
apart.
entire wall
Man, she
full.
grabbed the wrong Pandora's box before she started that movie, dude.
Now you just have me wanting a light bright. All I want to do is get on Amazon and find an old light
I
bright.
need
If
probably
you
like
get
30
one
of them. I
in
want a whole
black light
wall.
pastels, you might be good.
White with black pastels, you said? Sorry?
A light bright in black light pastel colors.
Oh,
Oh,
black light. That
That'd
sounds
be
cool.
wild.
Talk about
Yeah,
retro
the old
too. There
school
you go.
black lights were like purple painted incandescent light bulbs, and then they had fluorescent ones.
Oh,
Yeah. I remember those. Still
Those
got
things
those.
got super hot, man. If you broke one, you were toast.
True.
I just
Well, I
remember
guess
putting
if I was
black
born
light
in
close to your
69, I
eyes.
guess by this
You know,
time I'm
fuzzy.
Crispy the Friendly Toast, huh?
Crispy the Friendly
Remember
Toast.
Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Yeah.
I'm Crispy the Friendly Toast, dude. You can learn a lot from a crash test dummy. Remember those dumb crash test dummy commercials? You can learn a lot from a dummy. So buckle up.
Yeah, don't leave yourself in the toaster for too long, Josh
I mean,
says.
compared to Click It or Ticket, that was before Noah's flood, yo. All right, peace, y'all. Thanks so
All right,
much.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good one, Tony.
Hey, right
Yeah.
to you. I mean, Little Kentucky loves you guys.
Thank you
I mean,
so
I do
much.
anyway. I've been here for 13 years, so. Hopefully I
I'm
can
actually
come back
from
and
Kentucky,
finish what
Tony.
I started in CS 141 with Wes Soper for Lowering Gain and stole my class project out of the mailbox after I destroyed the disc. It was on paper, and that was it. He gave me an incomplete, and I called him. I was like, hey, man, I know what happened. I was the only one that could get the program to work, man. Lauren was mad. And his instructor was like, well, you did it great on everything else, so I'll give you the Wes Soper. He's a cool dude, man.
Sweet.
Nice.
CS 141.
All
Follow
right.
89. Follow 88.
Thank you, Tony. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. I'm going to go tune you in and just lay
Yay.
down and tune in WGOD on WWSC.
There you go.
Have
Dayton's
a good
right,
night.
Joyce.
Yes.
Okay, bless you, Raiders. You're surrounded by an innumerable host of angels.
Yes. And we just shredded Cleveland State about 10 minutes ago.
Yes!
So.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. What about Drew Carey? Yeah, Cleveland Rocks.
Cleveland Rocks.
Remember the Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
That was one
Yes,
of
I
our
do.
my favorite shows.
Cleveland Rocks. All right, peace.
That's
Thank
funny.
you all.
All
Peace,
right,
man.
take care.
Raiders rock.
Well, we're about
Yes,
to
All right.
I do.
we're about to play a song just like we told good old Tony. Real quick before we get into the music, I'd like to introduce kind of like a concept that ties both the next song we're going to play with the whole point of the show. So at some point, I was lucky enough to have back and forth rapport with Sean Lennon on Twitter for a while. Sean Lennon's a really, really interesting musician and has like this amazing ancestry and really has this deep, rich story that, you know, surpasses time and space, in my opinion. Like his dad was a Beatle. His mom's one of the most amazing artists that I've ever really been able to try and fathom the avant-garde world. Like she is a legend, a living legend, Yoko Ono. And his partner, Charlotte Kemp Mull, from The Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger, a band that they both shared together. I went to see them a long time ago in 2014. And I got to, over the years, interact and sort of stick myself in there enough that Sean followed me on Twitter like he does many other people. We've had little Twitter things, and I started to follow Charlotte, his partner, on Instagram. And one day about 6 months ago, she was talking about Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones show on Netflix. And we almost argued. Like I was like, hey, this is trash. You know, Dave Chappelle really complicates the transgender situation. There's a lot of things about this that I think are oppressive in nature. And she didn't necessarily agree, but we were both really respectful and polite, and we had like a mutual understanding. So we had a moment of clarity where we weren't arguing, we weren't speaking over each other, saying rude things. We had different ideas, and you know what? Oh my God, we had a conversation, and it just happened to work out. She said, you have a great voice. You should try to make a show, do something, get your message out there. And we did, and that's what this show is. So we wanted to thank Uni, Charlotte Kent Mull, Jack, their new singer, and we're about to play a song from Uni called What's the Problem? The singer is not Jack, but they're working on a new album, and we hope to have Jack on the show in February or March to discuss queerness and all of the little things that go into being a celebrity in the world where you are gender variant or appear to be not the gender norm that everybody expects you to be. So this next song is going to be called What's the Problem from their first set of singles.
All right, we're going to get the turntable fired up and play that for you here in just a few seconds.
And thank you for listening. We are going to plug some social media real quick.
Yeah.
All of our sites have these really long and annoying, tedious, blah, 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 blah kind of URLs. So essentially what you can really do is go to spillthetea.org and hit the links of all of our main sites, including Facebook, Discord, Patreon, and our YouTube.
Yes.
And for those of you that are on the live stream right now on Facebook, hi, we love you. We
love
can
you.
see you.
We're looking at your comments, and you're cute, and we love you. Oh, and I see real love there too. I see Court. I see people.
Yes, we have so many people. And everybody misses Tony.
There's Brian. Oh, poor Tony.
Everybody wants to bring Tony back.
Okay, we're going to take a break in a minute, and we will be right back.
So what's coming up after the break, Chrissy?
We're going to talk about identities and orientations and things connected to, like, the gender continuum is how I like to look at it, and what the difference between the old, very recent ideology of like a gender spectrum and a gender continuum, which I think is more accurate, and delve into our personal identities and let you get to know us a little bit more as a cast and crew. And then we'll be wrapping up and getting ready for our next episode next week.
All right. We'll be back in, about 2 minutes or so?
Yep.
All right. You're listening to Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy on WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton.
This is your Wright State Cork Minute.
For the latest activities happening at Wright State, download the Cork app for free from the Apple or Google Play Store. Here are some events happening between January 13th and January 19th. Intramural basketball, soccer, and volleyball registration is open until January 21st. Apply at imleagues.com/Wright State. A Welcome Back Luau is happening Thursday, January 16th from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Student Union Rec Commons area. Play ping pong, pool, spike ball, volleyball, and more. Men's basketball versus Cleveland State, Thursday, January 16th, 7 p.m. in the Nutter Center. Tune in to WWSU Radio for live coverage. Finally, men's basketball versus Youngstown State, Saturday, January 18th, 7 p.m. in the Nutter Center. Tune in to WWSU Radio for live coverage.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when it's dry or windy. Be careful burning yard waste, because wildfires can even start in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
My name is Joseph Marks, and I am a motion picture major at Wright State University, and you are listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Dayton's Right Choice.
Welcome back from break. You have come back to Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy.
We are going to play one more amazing, beautiful song for you from the Claypool Lennon Delirium. This is Sean Lennon's band. And the relevance here is that in one of the songs, I noticed that they say a number of things that are observations of the world. One of those observations is that your brand of genitalia does not determine where you go to the bathroom anymore. So I wrote Sean on Twitter and said, hey, what does that mean? And they were like, hey, just observing the world around us. So I think we got allies there. So this song is called Little Fishes from the brand new album South of Reality from the Claypool Lennon Delirium. Hello, we're back. Sorry if anyone experienced technical difficulties. We may have been unaware of things that got us doxxed.
Facebook did not like the fact that we played that track.
I guess they don't like the Claypool Delirium very much.
Facebook's like...
They don't like it.
They're
Facebook's
not about
like, you
it.
can play Primus, but not the Claypool Lennon Delirium.
Better not play the Claypool Lennon Delirium. You better not, or you're going to get doxxed.
Little things to think about for the future. Sorry, folks, about any interruptions. Hopefully we'll be rolling back and everything will be fine. And we won't have to answer to the Facebook gods, the Zucker god, about anything inappropriate, because it wasn't. It was just a song. So, well, I guess getting back to the show, we will discuss what we are here to talk about, which are identities and orientations and coming out stories and things like that. Do you want to intro and talk to people a little bit about you first?
Sure.
I feel like my story scares everyone off. So
yeah, and I would call my coming out story a pretty positive experience over most of the other coming out stories I've heard. So the long and short is that I was able to come out to my mom when I was really young about not being straight in any sense of the capacity of the word. So she looked at me and she said to me, honey, you're my child. I know. And used it as an opportunity to tell me that it was going to be great for me to not get pregnant as a teenager.
Hey, contraception.
Yeah, right? Then later down the line, when I started learning about the distinction between genders and the fact that you don't necessarily have to align with them, and that there's all of these amazing different ways that we can come to understand who we are, I was able to come out to the family that I've made for myself. Lex, Helena, talking to you. And my BBY, also talking to you.
BBY, Dayton's Right Choice.
WBBY.
WBBY.
Oh, my gosh. But yeah, so I got to come out to them and every single one of them.
You sounded Canadian right there, Hawk. You're like, I got to come out to them.
Come out.
Come out.
So, yeah, all of my family was very accepting about me coming out and being who I am. It seems that it doesn't matter to them at all because it's just a part of who I am and they love me and who I am is part of what they love so much.
And we do wish that everyone had that experience. I know that that's probably not common. And we at Spill the Tea, that's a great girl face. Yes, Spill the Tea's here for you. If you need to write us and talk about us, you can get on our Facebook and message us privately if you want to about any of your coming out stories. anything that you need someone to listen to or just hear you, like just write us and let us know.
If you need somebody, if you're out there and you need somebody to come out to that's not going to tell you that you're sinning or that you're disgusting or that what you is or what you are is wrong or anything like that, come to us. We're going to be here for you. We're going to love you just as much as we would have loved you if you came up to us and not told us. Or, it doesn't matter. It's part of who you are, and we love that no matter what.
Get on the Discord. Get on spillthetea.org. Get in our Discord, and that's kind of a private, really elaborately designed place. Our webmaster, Patrick, has built a really good spot for you to feel comfortable, for you to feel safe, for you to feel like riffraff or what we kind of dub as haters sometimes are screened, examined, booted if they need to be.
Maximum troll control.
The maximum troll control.
Yep. I've already had to get rid of 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get rid of the second one. They got rid of
themselves.
Because we have a verification question, and it's what is Chrissy's gender identity, which it's listed on the website. But Chrissy has been getting a lot of haters on YouTube of people claiming that she's a he. And so we thought it would be really clever.
You're a bro, dude.
We thought it would be really clever to have a verification question about what is Chrissy's gender identity. So people who answer wrong are then required to write a research paper about gender identities if they want access to the Discord.
Absolutely.
Trolls are not going to want to do that. They're going to leave right away, and that's exactly what happened to that one person.
So it's like, bye, Felicia. They were gone immediately. So.
Yeah.
I feel like mostly what we're experiencing is like trans misogyny. So you have a trans one on the show who doesn't pass. Mm-hmm. And there we go. We solved the problem. We got Facebook Live going on. So I think that what we're encountering is that you have a trans woman on the show that doesn't really pass, doesn't try to pass, doesn't feel like passing is the point. And people are going to explode at us and pick on that alone because women, as a feminist, women tend to get picked on. Even if you're a trans woman and they don't want to grant you womanhood, they'll still pick on you in that feminized fashion anyway. So it's almost like you're giving me my womanhood regardless by treating me like people generally treat women, if that makes any sense. Not that I condone this behavior. I'm just saying. I see the parallels, and I don't see it as any different as the way that people tear women down, the way that people tear trans women down. So that's really the brunt of that. I got onto Twitter about the J.K. Rowling thing, where J.K. Rowling kind of stood up for a TERF, trans exclusionary radical feminist, which I say with zero disdain or insult. I just say it as an absolute fact of like defining the type of radical feminism that these people identify as. So if you are a radical feminist who does not include trans people, then you are a TERF, for lack of a better term, and we can argue that out on the Facebook page if you want to.
I'm ready. Fight me.
I'm ready. Fight me.
So we have a comment from Frasier on YouTube. Facebook. Passing, air quotes, is a shallow construct at best.
Agreed.
What are you passing for exactly? What is it that... Why would I look at somebody and expect them to look a certain way because of my predetermined biases or predetermined thoughts of what a person should look like or what a certain person with a certain genital should look like?
Right.
That's not my job.
Yeah, those are the social constructs that we get into. So passing is the essential nature of people trying to say that there is a real man or a real woman. So you're saying that you pass as a real man or real woman, which is BS.
Fantastic question.
Josh and I are laughing because Frasier's next response is, I am a NERF, non-exclusionary radical feminist.
Yes! Yes! We love NERF. It's NERF or nothing.
NERF or nothing, folks, on Spill the Tea.
I like it.
Right choice.
That's great.
We'll get to the identities part. Yeah. So you gave your coming out story. It's my turn to kind of tell a coming out story. So essentially, long shorts.
You got long shorts?
Long shorts. Aren't those just called pants?
Skirts.
I'm very open, so I will tell everybody everything except for things that need edited for the radio. So essentially, growing up someone who was kind of forced to identify as a boy and to try and do what masculinity dictates that we have to do, that I had no idea what that really was or entails. I had many opportunities to fail, and I feel like toxic masculinity set me up for a lot of pitfalls. So along the way, I got what many people have said is addicted to pornography. And after transition, I've come to sort of reflect on my life and realize that probably what I was doing was pretending to be the girl in those scenarios. So that was my fantasy escape from this horrible life and gender dysphoria. That was where I got to be the girl. I grew up in the 1980s with the wild hair and the crazy eyes and the 80s porn. And I was like, I want to be the 80s porn girl when I grow up. I didn't want to be like, the president or John Lennon or
I would rather
David Lee Roth.
Porn.
Yeah, I wanted to be like an 80s porn girl, and that's admittedly problematic. But my point is that those are the poisons of masculinity. So as I was searching for a way to find womanhood that I could exist in, unable to do this in real life, I went to the places where it's dark and cold and lonely and oppressive and objectifying. And I got lost there. I really had a lot of internalized transphobia. I didn't really know what transgender was growing up. When I grew up, I was born in 1977. So when I grew up, transgender was a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that was wrong with you. Absolutely, like 100% until at least 2003.
Yeah, and it's been like that until pretty recently.
Yeah.
The World Health Organization finally took it off.
I think in 2003, the APA removed it from the DSM-4, and when the DSM-5 came out, it was changed from gender identity disorder to gender dysphoria, which is just something that trans people may or may not suffer from. It is not a
it's a potential symptom.
It's a potential
not
symptom.
always.
Yeah.
It's not a bullet point of being trans.
Right. That's not part of your identity. That's just something that can happen. So it took being transgender off the list of things that are pathologized in the world. But during all of this struggle, a girlfriend started to find out little secrets, little things, little Easter eggs that I'd messed up and lies I didn't cover very well. She found out all of the horrible things about me that I'd been hiding and doing. Pictures to boys for male attention in girls' clothes, things that she perceived as cross-dressing and paraphilic disorder borderline. She thought that I was sick and a monster. And we broke up, and she never knew at that point in time. She does now, I'm sure. But over the next 9 or 10 months, I started to open up, start to realize all of these things that I'm unveiling, like, hey, I'm bisexual. No, that doesn't really work. Hey, I'm pansexual. That doesn't really answer anything. Hey, guys, I'm polyamorous. Pansexual. That's still not true enough. So I got to a point where I'm looking in the mirror and I'm crying and I'm just like, darn it. I'll censor myself. Darn it, Chrissy, get your stuff together, girl. And then it hits me. I'm like, it clicks. And I'm like, hey, that's the missing piece. Like, that's what it is. Find out what that means and you'll be fine. And within a couple of months, very small research, Google's a good thing. I found, well, sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say, depends.
Phrasing. It's all about phrasing.
I found a community is what I found. I started to find answers through people's voices, not just Google articles. That's not what I mean. So I found places where transgender was uttered and where I realized, oh, we're not sick. We're not monsters. We're just human beings that mess stuff up like everyone does. We make mistakes along the way. And we've actually built a world to where I think that coming out is becoming a social norm. And I think we're going to really wreck what the gender binary is. And I feel proud of that. So I made that part of my identity. I don't feel like I need to pass. I don't feel like I need to assimilate into cis culture. What I really want to do is be the best trans woman that I can be and fight for the rights of my people, which we don't have the same rights as everyone else, despite what people think. Everyone says, hey, you're trans, just go be trans. I don't care. And like, people do though. And whether you do or not, it affects every aspect of our livability. So that's why I came out. I came out to erase all those doubts, all that shame, everything that I felt about myself that was horrible. And all of those dark places left when I was open and honest and I could just live and be the woman and not have to hide in a fantasy world. All of that darkness left, and I just became this peaceful, really strong woman searching for education. I went to school, and I've changed my whole life around, and I'm such a strong, brave, mouthy, brassy woman.
Yes, you are.
And now you're here.
And now I'm here in front of all of you fine people.
On a radio, on a video, doing all the things. with
Doing
all
the thing.
people.
Doing the thing.
I love Dr. Barnett, so I'm wasting time here, but one of my chosen mentors, not my actual, like, hey, this is your official mentor, but I've absorbed and scooped in a professor like, hey, you're going to teach me what you know, and Dr. Barnett's amazing, and that's what my favorite thing that she says is, do the thing. There's always this thing that we're supposed to do, and
just do the thing.
Do the thing, man. So I'm here. I'm doing the thing. That's my thing. That's how I roll.
Frasier made a long comment here. Wow, Chrissy, you never cease to amaze me. I like to say I'm a professional at coming out. I've come out 7 times until I found me and began living authentically.
That's beautiful.
Good for you.
Yes. I'm very glad to know that you've found a part of yourself. That's a beautiful thing. And, you know, it doesn't matter how many times it takes coming out. It's not a race. It's not, you can come out as many times as you have to find who you are. It's not a matter of the coming out. It's the you finding yourself.
And you don't have to stick by what you say. Everybody grows. Like, everything in your life is not a fixed point. So, you know, you start out life one way and you might change 20 times or just have different variations of what you feel are necessary to suit the life that you've built for yourself at that moment. And that's fine. That's beautiful, actually. That's a wonderful story. Thank you, Frasier.
Yes. Also, Vivian wants you to know that she's very proud of you.
Aw, thank you, everyone. I love the support. That's so much better than the hate.
Yes, it's wonderful. And I'd like to, you made a comment about how you went through all of these periods of discovering who you were, and that first it was bisexual and that didn't fit quite right, and then it was pansexual, and that kind of ties into our next point, that all of our different identities, all of the different concepts of who we are, whether you're trans or not, all come together. It's a net. It's not like, help me out here.
I like to call it the queer net.
The queer net. That's my fave.
Essentially, and I saw an argument earlier on Facebook. So there's a trans man saying, why is the T a part of the LGBT? And though this is a transgender show, because we're transgender hosts, that doesn't mean that everything else doesn't really play into that. So sex and gender are not the same things. Your sexual orientation and your gender identity are not the same things. But doesn't everybody with a gender identity still have a sexual orientation?
We got a phone call. Would you like to answer it?
Sure, let's take it. We got a few more minutes here.
You're on. Spill the tea with Hawk and Chrissy. What is your first name?
Tony. How's it going? I got my dumb phone tuned in.
Awesome.
Rock and roll, man. I was listening to you guys talk about finding yourself and all that and all the identity crisis crap. Man, I go through that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I got nailed for a domestic violence I never committed. Actually, somebody did it to me and lied.
Oh, dang.
Blamed it on me. And I got called schizophrenic and all this stuff and poisoned for 25 years with their pharmaceuticals and blah, blah, blah. But, like, it was like listening to you, I'm thinking, okay, am I been in search of myself, or have I been in search of the original creative reality within me, which is where I came from, and can I use that as a focal point for the navigation of my destiny? I don't know. Lord knows, you know?
Yeah.
You got to ask the Axis like Jimi Hendrix, yo.
No, that's very deep.
Just as the X is. I'm the most genius man I ever saw in my life, and I never saw him in person. I saw him one night in a dream when I was in, like, 9th grade before I fell asleep. I was looking up at the ceiling in the dark, and I saw this face of him in those, like, the black light, pastel color, glow in the dark night light bulbs in a picture of Jimi Hendrix's face with his fro and his headband flapping in, and was like, wow.
I think that's what the hippies call a flashback, Tony.
Yeah, I know, man. And I put that in a song 20 years later. And I don't have another copy of it. I gave them all away.
No, I think it's beautiful. Everybody goes on a search for your inner self, and it doesn't matter how old you are. You sound like a mature, grown person, and, I started this journey at 39 years old. Not that your journey's the same as mine. I'm just saying, looking for yourself, looking for yourself in your inner voice. Any age, doesn't matter. Start whenever you can.
Heck yeah, dude. But, can you imagine if we was all the same, how boring it would be?
It would be ridiculous.
Very really think God wants robots that can't?
No, yeah, that's the world I want to live in, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the world I want to live in.
When they tried to, hamburger grind me and stamp me like Wendy's, where's the beef? And I was like, they're doing this crap to my pop. I'm like, oh, there's the beef in Don Trump shorts. I knew it all along.
Oh, my gosh.
And I used to make sick jokes about Don, but it was just a joke, I'd be like, I am a self-made multi-billionaire, and I have successfully corrupted the entire United States into a collapsing, failing, decaying global corporation. It's really quite a catastrophe.
My
name is Captain Comeover, and I approve this message. Throw stuff at me and vomit,
Donald's right choice.
Or just throw vomit at me and flip over and leave. Anybody got a breath mint and a cigarette?
All righty.
She shoots. She scores. Anybody got a breath mint?
All right, Tony, we got to take another small break, and then we'll be right back here in a few minutes. Thank you so much for your call and your attention
I'm
tonight.
listening for your song. I love you guys.
Big love. Thank you.
So real quick, before we take our break, I just want to re-announce, if you want to join in on our discussion, go to wwsu1069.org and chat with us on the website. You could also go to our Facebook Live on Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy.
I think the @ is Spill the Tea page. At Spill the Tea page.
You were signing something and I missed it. What were you signing?
Oh, what was the initials there? Oh, it's all right. It's WWSU or something.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes to wrap up our show. You're listening to Spill the Tea on WWSU 106.9 FM.
Thank you for listening to Spill the Tea with Hawk and Chrissy, and for being diligent through all of our small tech issues with the Facebook and the Zuck God.
We appreciate it. Your patience, that is, not the Facebook.
The discussion doesn't have to end here, so if you have anything else to add to this content of this episode that we didn't really cover or that we didn't get a chance to touch on that satisfies you, there's a what's it called?
Discord.
Well, I mean, it's a thread or what is it?
Channel.
There's a channel available on our Discord that you can get on and discuss anything about the episodes that we air that night, or you can go back probably and be like, hey, last week you did this or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
If you're friends with me on Facebook and you want to be a part of the Discord, let me know. I'll send you a link.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah, definitely join the Discord. You can talk about our episodes and our videos. It's also, we're trying to make it into a support community as well.
Yeah, we're here for you.
LGBT identifying individuals.
It's that whole concept that I mentioned earlier, fictive kin. That's a fancy word that I learned in gender studies. That means whenever queers or any marginalized peoples actually who might be shunned from their family situation, you can always build your own family, and lots of people have. So
just go to spillthetea.org. There's a purple button with, it looks like a little square game controller thing.
It's got a little game
looks
controller
like
in
a game controller. That's the Discord logo. Click that, and then there's a button, join Discord, and that will take you to, if you don't have the Discord app, it will prompt you to either download the app or you can use the web version.
Just read Chrissy's bio and know what she identifies as, or you're not getting in there.
Correctly,
yeah,
else
we do have that to keep trolls out.
Trolls, we say with no insult, just actually a description of what you are.
It's true.
So real quick before we end up ending the episode, I did mention a concept earlier that I wanted to clear up. So a gender spectrum versus a continuum. The idea of a gender spectrum is that you have this great little rainbow of opportunity bookmarked by masculinity on one end and femininity on the other end. So those are two absolutes. That's still a dichotomy no matter what you squeeze in the middle there. And it's still binary thought because you're only moving from one end of a spectrum to the other. So it's this to this. It's still black or white. It's still a binary. The idea of a gender continuum, I heard from Dr. Amelia Hubbard and Dr. Barnett right here in our Intro to Sexual Health and Diversity class, where basically you have this non-fixed plane. And there are all these points everywhere, and there are various degrees of all of them. There is no beginning, no end. There is no absolutely masculine to absolutely feminine. Even men and women are just somewhere on the continuum because no two men are the same. No two men are the same masculinity or the same broness. No two women are the same girliness. And everybody fits in there somewhere on a non-fixed point, floating around on a continuum.
Forever. You keep changing throughout your entire life, and that's part of the approach of the continuum aspect is that you don't have to stay in this one place static for the rest of your life. The point of the continuum is to show that we grow and evolve as people, and we keep changing and keep differing from what we were before. Having the spectrum aspect leaves it pretty limited.
Still building dichotomies, still trying to enforce ideology of a gender binary. You're just kind of masking it with the opportunity for other things that blend those two binary ideals, but you're still working with essentially two things.
I would also say that I personally would really hate to see the absolute maximum of masculinity and the absolute maximum of femininity. I feel like I'd throw up.
Yeah.
I think it's David Hasselhoff and Vanna White.
What did you say, Josh?
Hercules.
I still don't want to be with two of them in the same room, probably.
Yeah.
So going forward, we would like to discuss our next Spill the Tea interview show. We will be talking with the Gatlin Dame Group, an amazing, super supportive group here in Ohio, and not just anywhere in Ohio, but in our area
but in our little neck of Ohio. So, Devin Dame, Gatlin Gage, very devoted people to the community. Devin told me that they go to Columbus, they go to Cincinnati, they get around and do educational speeches. They really have a big focus on teaching people about not just trans activism, I'm sure, but anything related to self-care or community care. That's where I started my journey. One of the first places that I ever went whenever I came out was I researched it and realized, hey, there's this... You have a support group in your town, go. So I went there. I wasn't there very long, but I don't feel like I needed to be. Everyone gave me what I needed. That's what a support group does.
That, and I'll say in talking with episode 2 with my close people, a ton of people that I know already understand the Gatlin Dame Group and already know personally the members therein. Like, it's really amazing how widespread their influence is, even though we're in this little bitty place.
Right. Mm-hmm. And it is very private. It is very, it's a safe space. So you don't have to worry about anything just because I'm advertising it for the whole world doesn't mean that the whole world gets to come into your group and see who's there. It's absolutely a safe space. Trans people of any kind, allies of any kind, doesn't matter your identity. You don't have to be a binary trans person. You don't have to be anything. You just have to need family. And they're there for you. So we'll talk about that on our next episode. That'll be a YouTube special, and we're going to actually drag them to Wright State, put them somewhere cool, and make them live in our little neck of the world for a second and discuss what they do. And we hope you all enjoy that.
Yes.
All right.
Visit our Patreon at www.patreon.com/spillthetea. That's a capital T. Well, a single T, not like
just
tea
the
like
letter.
you drink.
Yeah, just T.
Don't listen to me. Go to spillthetea.org and click the Patreon link. Don't listen to me.
It's easier that way.
Yeah.
All of life is easier if you just follow what Patrick did and don't listen to Chrissy.
Wow. Just help donate to the cause and to help fund the equipment for the videos and everything we do. We'll give you some rewards, like you'll get exclusive shorts and things like that from
unlimited access to like entire interviews instead of just the edited parts.
Our Australian mom has sent us a message to tell us she's proud of us and we love you.
Proud kittens love you back. Mwah.
All right, so we got about a minute left in the show. We do have another basketball game next week, which could interfere with the show again, just like this week, and that's going to be the case for the rest of January. But we got permission from the program director. If the basketball game cuts into our show, we could go over, which is exactly what we did today.
Precisely what we did.
So
We live
will
with it.
be on the air around 9 p.m. every Thursday on WWSU. Any final thoughts?
Thank you much for listening. We love you. We're here for you. Reach out to us on our Discord. Please engage and talk with us. That's what we're here for.
Just like Chrissy said, we love you so much. We are here for you. Nothing's going to change that. And we look so forward to seeing you again soon and having more discussion time.
All right. We'll see you next week on Spill the Tea on WWSU 106.9 FM.
Dayton's right choice.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great and awesome week.
I'm making tea, but my nose only runs. My nerves, they won't get any calmer. Wanna be a few things that I might never